Hi, everyone. I'm David Marinac with the Repackaging Revolution and my friend Dr. Chris D. Arment. Plastic prejudice, or prejudice of plastic. Mm-hmm. Take us through that, because that was one of your slides also in one of your presentations. But give us some tidbits on that, because it's really good.
Because people ask me, if the facts are so in favor of plastic, why are people against plastic? One reason is that we're being misled by green groups, so-called green groups, and in some cases by scientists and by the media. But there's another reason too. I think that we're intrinsically against plastic for something that's a reason that's even deeper. Here's some examples. If we find a 500-year-old piece of wood, right, a wooden ship in the ocean, 400 or 500 years old, the Mary Rose or the Vasa in Stockholm, which I've been to the beautiful Vasa Museum. When we find a 500-year-old wooden ship, we go, hallelujah, and we build a museum and we charge people money to go and see it, right?
Right.
We find a 2,000-year-old metal coin, Roman coins, 2,000 years old, hallelujah, stick it in the museum, charge money to see it, let's take our kids. 2,500-year-old parchment, the Dead Sea Scrolls, you can still read them, right? 2,500-year-old paper and papyrus and vellum and so forth. Paper takes over 2,000 years to degrade. You can still read what's on it. 20,000-year-old Chinese vase, again in a museum. All of these things we celebrate. All of these things we think are fantastic. It's worth paying price of a ticket to go and see these things, right? Because they're old and valuable. Right. And yet somebody says my plastic bag doesn't degrade in 10 minutes when I drop it on the floor. It must be from the devil, right? There's a disconnect, right? It's not rational. People are saying that plastics must be bad because they last, too long, when all these other materials we celebrate when they last long. And when the reality is that plastics degrade much, much more rapidly than any of these materials. A plastic bag, for example, degrades in less than 1 year outdoors. There are 2 scientific peer-reviewed studies that show a plastic bag just dropped on the floor, exposed to sunlight and the elements, will fall to pieces and become, just disintegrate within less than a year. And we're told by all of these groups, with no evidence, that it takes hundreds or thousands of years.
Well, again, it's just a recap that this recurring theme that we've always had. People have believed what they've been told with absolutely zero proof.
Or what they want to believe.
Or they research only what supports what they want to believe.
Correct. If we want to do what's right, we have to go with evidence, not our emotions.
Incredible. Thanks, Doc.